Okay, so this week's video is coming to you in 3 parts. Part 1. Alright, so there's actually so much that I wanted to put into this episode that I actually, look at this, I even wrote it out. That is a first, if I've ever heard of a first. 1 sec actually. Let's see. Let's just take that. Okay, so part 1. Defining my style. What is the goal of this whole thing? My merch, the videos, everything. Like, what is the point? It's a valid question, I'll give you that. It is because what is it? I haven't directly stated it to anyone, so, and I think that's something I'm trying to answer for myself right now, right? I think a big part of it is practice and getting more comfortable in front of a camera, but there's also another part of it that's, like, I don't know, I think it's fun. And it's a different way to express yourself, right? Because if you follow me for a long time in any capacity, or if you know me in any sort of way, you've always known that I've loved cinema and television, and that's what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to work in TV or in movies, or I've always wanted to do something like that. That's what my entire life, all the things that I've done have culminated towards, right? And that's always been the goal. But I do this YouTube thing, right? And if you look at my page, my channel, you can see, like, 1 short film that I've made. Yet, I want to go and make movies, but seems like I'm spending a lot more time making stuff like this, and, like, making news packages and documentary kind of stuff. But I want to make narrative films and television. And I guess my goal in making videos, movies, like, I just want to make something that can pass on some sort of meaning to someone other than myself. Finding a lot of different ways to experiment with certain types of genres and certain types of ways of storytelling. There's a lot of, and I think there are plenty of different ways to do that. And I think, in part, because I grew up with a generation around YouTube, right? So I get influence from people from traditional media, like, Wes Anderson, Spike Lee. And then I also get influenced by people like YouTube personalities. So you get Casey Neistat, Bertie Gilbert, Tom Scott, and so it's like the balancing of old and traditional media and finding a way to, like, combine them into one. Because I want to make movies. I know that for a fact, and that's what I've always wanted to do. I love the idea of producing, directing, writing, even, starring in movies. And I definitely want to play with narrative, a traditional narrative, but I want to find new ways to tell them, right? And of course, I want to do that, but I also enjoy doing this. I like talking to the camera. One of my favorite videos, actually, is one of my least viewed videos. It's the story of when I went to Aglow, New York. I made that at the beginning of last December, and, it's just, I'm sure it's because it's a very personal story to me, but I think the way I just love the way I told that story. And I just want to show that I'm not a one-trick pony, that I can do more than just that. In that spirit, I think I want to challenge myself to make at least 3 short films this year, definitely, on top of the 52 videos that I've already decided to want to make. And along with working on my other movie, like feature-length film and television ideas, I just want to keep on creating. And I'm not going to hate myself if I don't do this, but I would just like to put that into the world, I'm just trying to speak that into existence so I can make this year a very successful, exciting, and crazy one. And that's all I really want from this, I guess, is I just want the practice, and I want to be able to tell my stories. And part 2, what happened to OUTEAST Media? So if you have me on any other social media, or even if you've watched some of my other videos, you might recognize this. That was the intro to videos that I would put on a little thing called the OUTEAST Media Collective. You see, I'm wearing a shirt right now that was designed by my good friend Nestor Menjivar for the collective. And so the entire idea behind that was to get a bunch of creators and people who love to make things, videos, art, photography, music. We wanted to get them together, and so we could have a network to work with and use each other with our projects. And it was an experiment, and honestly, the experiment sort of failed. And probably entirely on my behalf for poor management of the project, but, it was an experiment nonetheless, and I wanted to try it, right? I gave it a try and wanted to work collaboratively, but then it all sort of fizzled out after the summer ended. I mean, it started when, we hit the ground running. It went really well. I was feeling like it. It kept growing, and then just an amalgamation of things. And really, I do want to bring it back, and I do want to have a community that we can all work together in, because that's something I always talk about, how community is the most important part of storytelling. So I think I'm going to try to restart that, because we have stuff like this. We have an established brand. We have tons of stuff. We put work into it. It just sort of, we lost a little bit of it. So I think I definitely want to start that again, because we had creators on it. It was a great time. If you might recognize any of that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I just really love the idea, and that's all I really have for this. This is probably 30 seconds of something, but that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. If you're interested in ever helping out or learning more about it or wanting to do anything, please contact me. We still have all of our social media pages. They've just been relatively inactive, but that's something that in 2019 it's going to start again, and it's going to take off. So if you're interested in joining together with us to create anything, please let me know. Oh yeah, this is a serious question. Should I go facial hair or no facial hair? Because I'm not sure what I like more. Comment that. Okay, so I was editing my video, and then I took a nice little break. I'm on this walk right now outside. It's like 9:30, but I'm going to make this section real short because I realized everything else was running a bit long. So basically, Sunday at 3 p.m. I hosted a live stream. My friend Dante came down. We reacted to some of our old videos, and I was plugging my merch and stuff. And the whole thing with my merch right now is it's going to this GoFundMe for this kid I know who goes to the same high school as me, or went to the same high school as me rather, and was diagnosed with a heart condition called Danon's disease, and his GoFundMe is to help himself and donate a little bit of it to research for this condition. I'm gonna just basically flash up a video I made with him, and that'll bring us probably straight through to the end of the video. So without further ado, here is Joe.
Hey, I'm Joseph Shodell, and I am here today to talk about Danon's disease. So how Danon's disease affects me, it affects me mentally and it affects me physically. It causes a lot of lack of energy during the day. I have a very hard time on a daily basis exercising because it puts a lot of pressure on my heart. So how I discovered Danon's disease. In 2016, I was put into the NYU Heart and Rhythm Center Hospital in New York City. I had a doctor named Dr. Stephen Fowler, and what he did to discover Danon's disease is he put me through radiation testing, which he injected an ounce of glucose that had a source of radiation in it, and what I had to do is I had to sit in the room for an hour because it was dangerous for radiation to reach somebody else in the same room. So after that process, they put me in an MRI room, and they could detect from the radiation whether or not the glucose stuck in any muscle in my body. And if that was positive, that diagnosis of Danon's disease would be positive. Yes, there is hope at the moment. I am in contact with 2 doctors from a San Diego hospital, University of San Diego Hospital in California. They are doing experiments on trying to find a cure, and they're saying it could not require surgery, so I'm hopeful that is the case. And how you could help me to find a cure And to support me, you could go on my GoFundMe, look up my name and Dan's disease. Pops up, and you can. Every portion counts. Good.
This is just a quick outro. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being subscribed. If you aren't already subscribed, please hit that button. Thank you for liking it. If you like the video, please give it a like. Share it with your friends. All that sort of good stuff. Thank you guys. Again, you guys know who you are, who are getting this message. Peace and love. I'll see you next Tuesday. Maybe not my best choice of words.